Welcome back to another edition of the Arnold's Thoughts Podcast. I am your host, Arnold Lewis. I help athletes prepare mentally for a life of overseas basketball. If this is your first time tuning in to the show, please do me a favor, hit the like, hit the subscribe, do all the little YouTube and subscribe things. Hit the subscribe button, rock with your boy, you feel me? Hey, today's episode, we're just gonna be talking about real honesty of why most players will not get signed or most players will not ever play at a high level. It's gonna be some hard truths here today. If this applies to you, then take it to heart. I hope it does hit your heart. I hope it sinks in deep enough that you understand that you gotta make a change. You gotta start doing some things different to affect your game. Because if you don't start being realistic with yourself and being honest with yourself, you will not grow and get to the level of what you're trying to reach as a player in general. And this relies to all facets of the game. From making it from high school players to make it from a JV player, making it to varsity. From a varsity player trying to just make it to whatever level of college, NIA, NAIA, JUCO, D1, D2, whatever level that you're trying to reach, becoming a pro overseas, becoming the highest level, NBA pro, becoming an Olympian, whatever it is, we have to break down what it is, what level that you're trying to get to, and what is really going on that you are doing that's pushing you in that right direction or is not. And you have to be honest with yourself. So some of the topics that we're talking about today, analyze your game, analyze yourself. It's not throwing shots at anybody. It's just being real with yourself. And a part of this life is just being real with yourself more often than not to get to the level that you're wanting to get to. You don't gotta fake and finesse for other people to not be real. You just gotta be real and understand that, hey man, there's some things I gotta work on. And the first topic is just like training with a purpose. Are you training with a purpose, or like do you just show up for practice? Like, what is your purpose? Like before you go to practice, I got practice today. For instance, I got practice today. I'm already constructing in my head, my thought process of what it is that I'm going to do in practice today. What am I going to get out of it? That's something I used to tell Big Deuce and Austin. There was on some episodes, a few episodes back when I was in Chile and we were doing that whole segment. And I used to say, like, we used to have practices where it would be so dull. The practices would be so dull, so boring sometimes. And we'd be like, what are they doing? What is this stuff that they got us doing? And it's just like your mindset is already not even into it. Instead of already understanding, okay, this is one of those slow days, but what can I get out of this to help better myself so I can help better my team, help better in my career? Because it's just days stacked upon days, and how you treat each day and how you treat each situation when you get to it will differentiate yourself from the others, or differentiate I can't say that word. It will change you from somebody else that's not doing the work. It's going to show. So it's like, what are you getting into? What are you putting yourself into when you come to practice? What is your mindset? Off the jump. Don't take nothing for granted. Don't take nothing that you do. Every workout has to be with a strategic purpose. How do I strategically get to where I am trying to go? How do I go into this practice and get something out of it? It might be so today, I might be tired. Like today, man, I realized I jammed my finger in the last practice. My elbow hurting from the last practice. Like, I don't even just miscellaneous stuff, but I still got to go in there with a mindset like, okay, we got a game coming up. It might be a slow day. It's a late practice. I don't like the late practice, but what can I do to get something out of it instead of just showing up and not just giving activity, just going through the motions and thinking, yeah, everybody else, oh yeah, don't go through the motions, but you have to start prepping yourself hours before. hey man, okay, today is practice. I was talking to Jerry. I was talking to my homeboy Jerry, and we was just talking about, where the season and guys and how I feel about this situation or that situation, about the players that we have and the role on the team. And I was like, I understand how important the practices is, even the practices with the team. Like, my level of intensity and where I'm trying to get and accomplish this season, it all starts by just the energy level that I bring into each practice. Because in the game, my role is different from any role that I've had before, or it's different from the role that I'm accustomed to as a pro. Majority of my career, I've always been a go-to guy on the team, and now I'm asked to come off the bench, play defense, play good team basketball. Because I'm new in the league. I'm not new in the league, but I'm new to the team and situation, and I'm doing what is being asked of me. Most times guys be try to do stuff that they've not been asked to do that. Nobody asked you to come here. Sometimes they didn't ask you to come in here to try to be the leading scorer and be the captain of the team and do all. They didn't ask you to do that. You got to understand that quick. You know what they do? Ask me to come in and come in with a lot of energy and practice, because we have such a good groups of guys that then if we are able to push each other in the practices and push each other by going hard and understanding that the practices are just how important that is going to translate to the overall success. And a part of that is really letting go of your ego and approaching the game and approaching whatever you do, whether that's a workout, whether that's getting your meal plan ready, whether that's going and studying film, whatever it is, how you approach the process of getting ready from even just a practice standpoint. I know everybody remember the AI hot take where he's like, practice. We're talking about practice. We're also talking about a Hall of Fame generational talent type of player. They are an anomaly in a different aspect. Practice matters. I think Jim Rohn, one of my favorite speakers, he said something, I think it was Jim Rohn, but he was like, everything matters. When you start thinking of the concept of everything matters, and you start realizing that every time that I come to the gym and I work out and how I approach this, just even my mindset, that matters. That compounds, that stack days, those stack to a different level of what you're trying to achieve as a player. The compound effect goes both ways, negatively and positively. So if you come in with the mindset, I'm finna get something out of practice, you can advance. But when you come in already with the it's practice, you killed yourself before you even started. One of the questions is, are you interested in playing overseas basketball one day? I wish someone would have told me 1 year after college I would receive my first pro gig. I wish someone would have told me that having an agent does not guarantee that you will get hired. I wish someone would have told me being cut from a team, because after 10 years in this game, everyone gets cut from a team. Now, after traveling from over 17 different countries and winning up to 7 championships in my pro career, I've put together the 6 most important traits any player needs before starting their career. So go ahead and grab that ebook and get all the information you need today to start your career. Now you can't say no one didn't let you know. So go ahead, grab that ebook and get started so you can become the pro one day. Let's go. How can players ensure that their practice translates to the actual game? How can you ensure that your practice mindset? It's all about your mindset. To ensure that what you do in practice translates to the game, it comes in with mindset, because it just really depends on how hard you're going. If your mindset is, they say, treat it like a game. If you really treat your practices like a game, if you really treat the moves that you are doing like it's a game, what do you mean by like it's a game? It's really just the intensity level at which you are going at. If I'm really going 100 for a jab, one dribble pull up, like I'm really getting to the spot, raising up. It's the mentality in your thought process which is going to make the biggest difference. Because I could put up 100 shots and barely break a sweat. And I could put up 50 shots and be in a full-blown sweat and dripping because of the intensity level that I have towards this workout or this work that I'm doing for this process. If my mindset is already in it that I'm treating this like somebody's guarding me and I got to get my shot off and I'm extra like perfectly or not trying to get as perfect as I possibly can with each step. Is my step too far apart or is it closer on the one dribble pull up? Am I coming to a hop? Am I getting enough distance? Am I using my forearm to create some space? Am I ripping through? Like all just really being strategic and breaking down every little key aspect of the move that you're trying to do will allow you to make sure that it translates, because then you're breaking it down. They say the attention, the detail to attention, or attention's in the detail, or what's the saying? The devil is in the detail. The attention to detail in general to whatever that you're doing will enhance you and allow you to be better at whatever it is you're trying to do, whether that's a move, whether that's just becoming a better player altogether. Just your attention to detail. The moves that you're doing, it has to be really, how do I step? When I step left, am I overstepping too much? Am I stepping on my toes, or am I flat-footed when I do this to get more explosion? Am I rocking with? It's just so many little strategic things. These are the way for me that I've understood that have helped me translate my game, is by just focusing on every little thing, focusing on the littlest things that you don't. He's just pulling up. He's just doing a one dribble pull up. Well, some people when they step further. Some people it's a quick step into a 1-2, or it's a one dribble hop into. These are just the little things that you have to break down, and that all comes down to your intensity level and your focus level to ensure that they could translate into the game. Because the more attention to detail that you break that down, and you focus more on those little details that improve the manner of the shot or the move that you're doing, when it comes to the game, it's more fluent and it's easier to execute. Because you've done it basically to the T, because that's what you practice. But it takes but you have to understand that mindset to understand that I gotta sit down and really study the game. I gotta sit down and really focus and watch shooters and watch the same video over of how Steph Curry is shooting, how Clay is shooting, how the best of the best shooter. Like just being a student of whatever move that you want to get in, like you want to improve or get better, to see that I like that move, I want to add that to my bag. Become a student of it. Go to YouTube University. There's a video that I watch on YouTube. I've been watching this video for like over a year. I watch it but mainly when my season starts or I'm in season, I strategically try to watch this video as much times as possible, at least 100 times throughout the season. That's my goal. Watch this video over 100 times. And it's a defensive video. And every single time I watch this video, my defense, for some reason, just inherently feels I'm able to get better stops. I can read the game better. I'm just a better defender because I'm studying the game and I'm watching it translate, because when I study it, I'm putting it into my brain. We think so many things and we do so many things that we think that every move and everything that we learn we're going to be able to apply all at one time. No, you have to continuously refresh yourself on the things that you need to focus on. Little things like going to the basket, the pickup, and keeping the ball high. Over time, over years, you will forget the little things if you're not intentionally focusing on that to get better and improve and see translate. I want my defense in the games to be top notch. I want to be able to lock down my defender. I want to be able to get stops when I need to be able to get stops for my team. I don't want nobody scoring on me. I like the fact of being a lockdown defender. I want to lock you up. I want you to not score. And I don't just say that and just come out here and hope and wish that I get a stop today. No, I'm gonna watch film on different defenders, how to defend the drive, how to defend this, like the strategic hand placement, the feet movement, there's different moves, slides, cross feet, workouts that help you develop your movements, that helps with your defense. Watching these videos over and over and putting in that time of studying in the details, the little details, to watch my game transform when I play. These are the ways that have shown me or have given me success by this is how I make sure. I've seen it so much time that it becomes a part of me. So it's going to translate because it's a part of me now. I'm really focused and locked in on it, and it's in my field of vision because I've studied up on it. I've gotten myself accustomed to it. So those are the ways that I believe that most athletes at any level just start putting in that work as far as, studying the game. And you'll actually see it start translating in the game. And you'll start realizing how much better you are getting by simply putting more focus into the details. Should you prioritize the basics or prioritize the workout? Because we're really in the age where it's so much social media, which is a good and a bad thing when it comes to like workouts. Because we see like, what's the most famous one who trains LeBron? He in 2K. What is white dude name? What is the white dude name? No, it's not Chris Handy or Phil Handy. Not Phil Handy. It's the white dude. What's the white dude? Y'all know the white dude. I can't remember his name right now. The white dude. Why I can't remember his name? Why can't I remember his name? It's on the tip of my tongue. He got the shoes. He just got some shoes that came out. It was actually pretty fire. I rock with them. Anyways, you see these trainers and you be watching these trainers and they be doing these workouts and they be doing so much of these crazy workouts and stuff. And it's like, is that going to translate? Work on what, I said Kobe Bryant worked on the basics 1,000 times. All the other stuff just came natural because you got the basics tapped in. Don't worry about so much. The best way I would say to train, find you one person that you really want to imitate your game after. Find that one person and watch just film. For me, it's Melo. I still to this day watch Melo highlights because that's a game, it fits my type of game. Mid-range, one dribbles, that 15, that's my game. So I watch and mimic a lot of his games, and I mimic those type of workouts. What is the type? I'm going to work on one dribble pull-ups. I'm going to work on spin moves in opposed to one dribble pull-ups. I'm not going to worry about if I can go tween, cross behind the back. That's not catered to my game. Can I do that? Yes, but that's not catered to my game. In the system that I'm in, I'm looking at the system that I'm in, I'm looking at the team that I'm on, and I'm looking at where I will get primarily most of my shots, where I will get primarily the ball came to me. Real basketball. Real basketball. There's a point guard, there's a two guard. Not everybody's going to have the chance to just let me get in my bag and cross and do all these extra moves. You don't got time. You don't got time, and that's taking away the energy. If you realize real scorers understand you, like, I guess I could call myself a real scorer. I just like to call myself a basketball player. I'm a basketball player. I'm gonna get it done, whatever I need to get it done. If that's me being the ultimate defender and try to be the defensive player of the year, that's what I'm gonna do. But at heart, naturally scoring does come to me. I'm not looked at as a scorer, but I'm a scorer. I score the basketball. I'm going to score. I'm going to get a bucket. That's just who I am. I'm going to get a bucket. I ain't going out like that. I'm going to get a buck. I mean, I'm the all-time leading scorer in Chile. That ain't happened by not you putting the ball in the basket. So one thing I do know is how to put the ball in the basket. And a lot of times it ain't came from me working on a whole bunch of different things that are out of my scope of what I'm going to be doing on the court. Okay, we got a bunch of point guards. We got point guards. This point guard does this. He keeps the ball in his hand a lot of times. This is how I'm going to score the basketball. I don't need to prioritize just a fancy workout and working out all these extra things that are not going to correlate to what my game is like. For real, for real. And this is, you're speaking to, you know what I'm saying? I'm speaking from the point of, I got a scoring time. I still got the record for the most points in the game. And I didn't go out of, I did what I did. And so even to this day, I work on what I know. I know I'm going to get the ball. If you want to score 50, you should know where you're going to get this 50 from. On an average night, if I want to score 50 points, I know exactly how it will come, because if I'm in a game, I'm going to understand where I need to be at and where I'm naturally going to be at and where the ball is going to come to me that would allow me to score this much. It's maximizing the drills, is maximizing and understanding where you are going to actually be efficient at and focusing on that. I got a free video when it's like my 7 secret scoring moves or 7 scoring moves guaranteed. It's like my breakdown of exactly the moves that I've scored, that I think in every championship I've won, I've done these moves. I've won 7 championships in my pro career, and I've done these moves. And here are my 7 moves that I've done. Here, take it. To show you that it's not, I got a scoring, I scored 61 points, all-time leading scorer in the finals, all-time leading scorer for foreigner players, and I broke that in the second game of the season, of this past season. I stayed the whole season, so good luck to someone trying to catch that and break that. And I doubt this will be my last time playing in Chile in my career. I could probably say that. Maybe when I retire, last year's or something, I'll go back. I don't know yet. But as of now, I didn't do that by going all these crazy workouts that's not going to be catered to my game. You need to focus on things that are catered to your game. Sharpen your, like you have a couple of tools, yes. But what's your main gun? Everybody's not a jack of all trades, but what is your main gun? I do this. Don't do one thing. Okay, I do this good, and I do 3, 4 things. I do this extremely well. And then these other things I do good. I got me, what is my sharpest, what is my fastest gun? What is my fastest gun? And if that one don't go, if that one ain't going, what is my next one? I got about three moves that you're not gonna stop. I got a move, I got a counter to that move, and I got one other move that if I'm in this spot, you don't need too many moves. You really need a move and a counter. I'm gonna get to this spot right here. I'm gonna do this every single time. Stop it. That's basketball. I'm finna get here and I'm finna do this move every single time. And if you stop it, I got a counter. If you got a counter to that counter, I'm probably getting up off the rock. Good defense. Come back, I'm coming right back to that same move. You might stop it once, might stop it twice. You ain't gonna stop it all night. You ain't finna stop my move and my counter move all night, because I prioritize on what I work on. And then that's what will allow you to translate your game. Stop working on these other stuff that's not gonna help you really translate your game. For example, I was talking to Jerry again, and we were talking about one of the young guys that I see playing overseas. And he's a good dude. I really like him. I love his game. I like meeting these younger athletes, and they're coming up, and I get to watch their growth and how they're playing and how they are progressing in their career, because it reminds me of when I was coming up, but I didn't really have no OG, maybe one or two, but not no real OG watching me, giving me game that I could reach out to and talk to. And I was talking to Jerry about this youngin, or this young guy, I ain't gonna call him a youngin, but this young player, and I was just saying, like, I don't like the way he plays his game. I don't know what he works on. I know he works hard, but what are you working on? Because even at this level, you have to have a certain type of game that translates to higher paying jobs. The whole point of being in every job, every career, you're not just trying to just stay the same. You want to maximize as much as you possibly can. If they could pay you, if you're making $1,500, you want to get up to where you're making $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, $15,000. You want to get this type of money, but your game has to translate to that type of payment. You can't just have, oh, I could come out here and score the basketball. Guess what? The higher you go, everybody can score. Doesn't matter if he's a big man or whatever. Pretty much everybody is good enough to have their own team. How you're scoring the basketball, like I was saying, like I didn't really like the way that you're shooting a lot of threes, bro. And a lot of tough threes. You're shooting, going 2 for it. Man, I wish I had my phone so I could see the stats. Maybe he was like 2 for, I don't even know. He must have shot like 12, 13 threes, made probably like 1 or 2. Nah, bro. I don't work on your game. Like, yes, you can go. I'm not saying, but think about the game of where you're trying to get to and start working on that. You got to be able to come off and probe and dime. Come off one dribble, cash. Come off, post, get it, rescreen. That's high level basketball. Unless you're content at staying at the level where you're at, and these people, and that's only going to last for so long. You can only be a good player on a bad team for so long. People are going to get tired of that because they can find a new one. I've seen it. I've been a part of it. I watched so many guys. This guy score. He scores about 26, 27 a game. But yet he's always on the worst team. He's always playing in the lower leagues. He's always on one of the worst teams. If you're the best player on the worst team, what does it really matter? It might secure you for a time, couple years, but longevity-wise, maybe that's. I only say that because I could tell that he has very much potential of playing at a higher level. Very good potential because he's got the size, he's got all the tendencies, and he has the ability. He wants to get learned. Like, he's not bashful to want to ask questions and really give forth the effort that is needed to get better, to learn, to become a better pro, earn better money, get better opportunities. That's what it's all about. Getting better opportunities, getting the money that you need to elevate and improve your life and get your next life going, and make some good money and enjoy this life. Like, let's be real. So from an outside perspective, I believe I'm going to reach out to him just to give him that perspective to understand, like, you got to change your game. You got to change your game. Don't be so egotistic to think that what you've done in the past is always going to work. I used to be a slasher, get to the basket type at all time. I'm still get to the basket and all that, but that was my main game. Hey, I had to make sure that my jumper was on point. I had to switch up the game. I had to know how to really be a team-oriented. I feel like I've always been a team-oriented player, but really hone in on, it ain't always my show. See, that's where the difference comes in. I realized that, all the time, it wasn't always my show to come into. They're not always bringing you here to be the man. They already got the man. You just good, and we want you to just, when the man or when the core comes out, keep us afloat. Keep it going. We don't want the level to drop. Your level is so good that you're going to be able to keep up the level of the type of caliber of basketball that we're playing. But that comes from what your game is catered to. I understand my game is catered to high level basketball. I know my spots. I know how to be successful because I know how to just work on what I need to work on. That, okay, I'm going to get the ball in these spots. I've been playing this game for 11 years. Majority of the times, 95% of the times in the situations that I'm playing, I'm getting the ball here. That has not changed. That has not changed. Some teams, you're going to get the ball more. You get different situations. Sometimes, like 1 or 2 years, I played the three. Oh my God, I loved it. You feel me? But that's not the average time that I'm playing. The average position that I'm playing is power forward, stretch forward. So I'm going to work on the stuff that's going to be catered to high level basketball playing at that position. Can I play other positions? Yes. Can I do other things? Put the ball on the ground and rock and yes. Is that what they're looking for high level basketball position to get paid? If that's not what they're asking for, I'm going to give you what you're asking for. And I'm going to work on what I need to work on to get what I need to get out of this game. And that's what you got to start thinking like. You got to start thinking like that. That's on every level. To get in the game when you're in high school, to get to the next level in college. You think that every college player that comes out, that's why these 5 stars and guys go to college and struggle, because y'all be thinking that everybody's not supposed to be the man. Everybody, or the woman. Everybody's not the guy. Everybody's not him or her. It's cool. You can still eat. You can still eat good if you just understand what it is that you need to be doing, what you need to be focusing on. Another truth, a brutal, honest truth of why most guys just don't succeed in their game, or most people or most players don't succeed or get better in their game, is because they set unrealistic goals that don't align with their habits. Your habit is going to take you wherever you are going to go in this life. Your habits. I don't mean to throw shade. I don't want to make it seem like I'm hating. I really have admiration and respect for young guys that are trying to get better. But I'm like, fam, the rate of what you're shooting threes, is that really the type of work that you're putting in? And this comes down from the lower level, I guess I was speaking to a lot of guys at a younger level, for the most part. The work that you're putting in, does it line up for what you say that you want? Are you working at a D1 level shooter that you say that you want? I want to go to school to be a D1 player. I'm a shooter. Are you putting in that work? I want to make it to varsity. Am I putting in varsity level work? I want to be an All-American. Are you putting in All-American work? I want to just go to school to play basketball. See, sometimes we speak too much on the highest of I want to be the greatest and I want to be All-American. I want to do this. Yes. But sometimes I was just trying to get to school. I was just trying to get to school. Oh my God, just to be able to get a scholarship to go be able to play and my God, thank God it was a D1. And even you gotta think about it, the D1 I was going into, it wasn't like it was the most prestigious D1. They were low major D1. They was just now on the rise. They just been in the D1 hemisphere or for like the last 5 years. So they was on their way up. So that's a lot of regrowth. We were the catalyst of the regrowth and the birth of the league and the school going up. But you gotta really you gotta understand. And I'm talking about SSU, Savannah State. Shout out to my alma mater, Savannah State University. We started Savannah State really the projection of the basketball and like going up. And as far as like we got into the MEAC, like we really made some hype. But still, it was a lower major D. It was a D1 school. We practiced just like it. But the work level that it took to get there, man. I thank my high school coach for seeing that, for understanding that, because he went to a D1. He went to FSU. So he understands the level. If you want to get to this level, you got to have that work ethic. And it didn't come from just the practices that I had in practice with the team. We put so much. When I think about my senior year before I went to college, the amount of work that I had to put in, the amount of work that I could think about. I ran cross country before the season started to make sure that, because my coach said, you're going to be playing a lot. So it wasn't really, I still talk to have a great relationship with my coach to this day, my high school coach, because he understood you're going to be great. Not even be great. You're going to play basketball. All right. And I'm going to get you to college, but I have to get you prepared for the work that is needed to be prepared for this. Shout out to my coach for that. I mean, he made sure that we was putting the adequate amount of work in to be able to get to that D1 level. That's what I'm getting at. We used to run 12 suicides a day. So I did cross country before. Then when the season started, that was the first year, my senior year, is when we started doing ice baths. We had mandatory ice baths. First time that's part of taking care of your body. We used to run 12 suicides a day, timed. 4 start the practice, 4 and after like the first 30 minutes, another 4 and 4 to finish. And each one was timed. Under a minute and matter of fact, I'm tripping. Double suicides. So we wasn't running just that one suicide. If anybody from my old heads who know about suicides, it's you touch this from the baseline, free throw line, baseline, half court, baseline, other free throw line, baseline, other baseline, full court. That's one suicide. We used to run double, 1 minute, 30 seconds for each. Double suicide. Man, when I just think about the shape, I need to get back to those days of running like that. Because if I'm in shape now, I can't even imagine like running, doing that. But just being realistic with what you have, like that's the type of work that it took just to get to a low major D1. Low major, and we were the best on our team. We made like All-American in our region because of just the work that you put in. And you got to really be real with yourself. Is the work that you're putting in going to translate to what you say that you're asking of your game? Your habits to your work, your attention to detail. What is that like? And does that line up to where you say you want to go? I know everybody wants to go overseas. Go pro and go overseas and make it to the NBA. Is the work that you're doing equivalent? It can't be equivalent. It has to even be more to get to where you say that you want to go or be the type of player that you want, the goals that you're setting. If you want to have a plan to say, you know what, I'm going to make 100 threes this season. How much shots are you putting up? How much shots are you putting up a day to guarantee that you will reach your goal? You know, I want to average 10 rebounds. I want to average a double-double. What is your work ethic? Are you working on your conditioning? Are you working on your explosion? Are you working on your strength? Are you doing the necessary work that is required to get the things that you're asking for? Because you can't have one without the other. Your work can't be piss poor and then you expect that you're all of a sudden just going to achieve all these things and you're not. You didn't put enough work in. You got to be real with yourself. We don't have to lie. Like, be honest with yourself. Be honest with your skill level. Be honest with your skill level of what you can accomplish. Don't be a sinner and say, I want to average 10 assists. Is it possible? Yes. But there's only been one center that I've known in my career of life that's averaged close to that, and that was Jokic. And we ain't never seen nothing like him. So it's like your skill level should be catered to the goals that you actually set for yourself. Is your skill level up to par of where you are trying to? Are you a D1 player? If your skill level is not up to that, you can try all you want and force your way, but you have to get your skills better. It's not really no ifs, ands, or but about it. You have to get better. If you want to shoot the ball, if that is where you thrive at, focus on that. Yes, you can work on your ball handling and work on other attributes of your game to make your game better and, be a well-rounded player. But let's be realistic on some things. If that's what you do that. Stop trying to be a slasher, getting into the basket, trying to go and lay. If you ain't got the shot, I'm going to go and try to lay. That's not your strength. That's not your skill. If you don't run the pick and what, but one thing that really, grinds my gears, that really gets me upset is when I see players try to run the pick and roll. That's not their strength. I had a coach that I was on another team last time I was here in Argentina, the last team I was on. This current player that I'm talking about, I love him to death. One of my friends. This ain't no shot. This is just me analyzing the game and seeing the game from my perspective and understanding my point of view of what I see, how I see the game. And how I see the game is, I'm like, this person doesn't really run the screen and roll properly. He doesn't run the screen and roll properly. And every time he runs the screen and roll, it's a turnover. That's not your skill. That's not what you thrive at. We don't need you running the screen and roll. That's not what you do. That ain't no knock. Be good at what you do. Don't try to do something other than what your first man. Like, what is your strength? Stick to that. That'll take you where you need to go. Focus on. Make sure you got that down pat before you try doing other things. And sometimes, like I said earlier, they don't always need you to be everything. Just do your job or what you need to be doing and do it to the best case. Dennis Rodman did his job by being the best rebounder and defender that he could be. They didn't ask him to go out and get 30. He said he used to go to the gym with his boys and he didn't even shoot. He just went to see them shoot. So he could see how to read the rotation and the spin of the basketball in order to see the reflection or the deflection of it when it hits and it misses, so he can read how to get rebounds. That is genius. He knew what I guarantee his goals was to be leading rebounder of the season or whatever. Like those type of things that just because it's catered to his skill level. And that comes from knowing your strengths and weaknesses. You as a player, hey, here's an exercise. Take out a piece of paper and write down what you believe on one side, what are your strengths on the court? On the other side, what are your weaknesses on the court? And then go take it to your coach or your team and ask them, does this correlate with what I believe about myself on the court? Do you also see this? So you're getting some feedback and not having a false perception of what you believe you think you can do or what you believe that you're doing, and it's not actually helping your team or your situation or helping you get to where you need to be as a player. Get some feedback from people who actually know your game. Coaches, like I say, coaches. If your parents are in your life and they study your game and know your game, you got parents that are highly into the game. Like I said, take it to your coach and take it to your team. Take it to your teammates and ask them, are these my strengths and my weaknesses? Ask. You have to become aware of what it is that you need to be working on, or be aware of the type of player that you are. Don't be. I read this book called Ego is the Enemy. Just alone in the name of the book, you learn so much, because it just speaks so much of just our egotistical ways that prevent us to achieve and get to where we need to get to in life, because we put the ego of, I can't have someone critiquing me, and you're on my team and I don't want them to maybe make fun of me, and especially at the younger level, I don't want them to make fun of me and say, no, this is not my game, and try to make me change my game, or criticize me for me believing that I'm good in this area, and they make fun of me because I'm not. That's fine. Get over that. Nobody cares. Get over it. Nobody cares. We're trying to get somewhere. You're trying to get somewhere in life. You're trying to get somewhere as a player, and you have to know your strengths and your weaknesses. Don't be afraid to go dig deep down. I want to know what I'm not good at. So how else can I improve? I want to know what I'm good at, so I can make that one of my best weapons. So I can become really good at what I know that I'm good at. That no matter what, I can contribute this. If you are a shooter, I can contribute to hitting and knocking down shots. If I'm a defender, I know I'm going to come out here and lock somebody up. If I know I'm a rebounder, I know I'm going to come out here and get 10, 12 rebounds, because I know my strength. And I've taken the time to actually be aware of what makes me good. And I actually take the time to go and improve upon the things that make me good. I believe I connect well with people. That's what I believe about myself. I believe I have a very good energy when connecting with people, and I know it's because my father had that connection, and I know I got a lot of my traits of who I am from him. So knowing that, I don't can just act as if I know it all and I'm just the greatest communicator and connection with everybody. No, I understand that, this is a skill, this is a gift. How do I further maximize the awareness to understand that I don't know everything, the awareness to know, hey, being able to communicate and connect with people is a good skill that I have. How do I improve upon this? Asking, what about me helps another person, or that I can work on, that I can get the better reaction from someone? Doing the work. Having the awareness to understand that I don't know everything. To know that there are parts that, hey, you know what? I'm not too bad at speaking, Speaking is something that comes to me, like relaying my message through my words. Sometimes I feel like that is my calling. That's why we created this network. And I know the words that I have come from a higher meaning. They come from a higher meaning. They come from a different place of me, because when I get into my modes where I'm speaking, it's like you really start speaking through a different lens, a different spirit. It's like a different embodiment that comes through you, that the words just flow through you. That's just me in this, like my journey of where I'm going. But I understand that, I can't just go off of pure talent and understanding. No, I work on myself to better enhance that, and to know that, hey, I need to read more books. I need to, I take speaking courses. And I'm not saying that, I'm just all of the greatest. No, I understand that I have a lane, that's something that I can improve upon to enhance others' lives, to enhance my life. How do I become a better communicator? I read books on communication. I follow speakers who are communicators. I follow a lot of motivational speakers who are actually teachers. I take courses on speaking. I read books on psychology of people. Like, it doesn't just happen over like just naturally and just, I'm so charismatic and I'm just so good with the suave. No, I want to enhance the gift that I recognize in myself. Same thing with my game. I recognize, I'm kind of tall, I'm kind of quick, I could jump. How do I enhance these features to become better on the court? Become a better player. You got to understand your strengths and weaknesses and then take that to apply to your life. You gotta use that and apply it to your life. And like I was saying, there is social pressures, or there's people that will, you could call it hate, you could call it just like people don't see your vision of what you're trying to see of getting better. So you know what most people do? They fear what they don't know, or they fear you being better than them because of their own like I say, our own egotistical ways make us conform to think that we have to be in competition with everybody, and I can't ask my friend, or I can't ask other players where they measure my game, because they might look at me they might make fun of me. And I can't sit here and lie and say that, peer pressure and scrutiny, public scrutiny, is not something that's real, that sways the way you think, whether that's like you're a young player and you say, you know what, I'm going to commit to eating right, eating healthy. I'm going to go more practices instead of going to parties. I'm going to watch film instead of going to the movies. You're probably going to get clowned. You're young. You only got one life to live. These things are going to happen. And it do have an effect to where it can sway you to make you feel like, maybe I will go out with them instead of just always being here and shooting. And you have to understand where you want to get to in your life and commit to that. Commit to understanding all that comes with it. The scrutiny, not having as much friends, not having people that understand you on the level, because when you put so much work in, and you're automatically going to be different. You're going to start getting better. Envy, jealousy comes with that. People that you were better, or wasn't, like you were looked at as the player that wasn't that good, and now all of a sudden you're one of the best players, and the best player who used to be the best player is kind of jealous of that. That's real. That stuff that's going to happen. You're going to be on a team, you're better than the other players just because you put in so much work, and then people are just going to just feel some type of way about that because of just your work ethic and what you decided to commit to. And for me to say that it's not a real thing, and it's not that you won't feel that, because you will feel that. Nobody wants to feel like the outcast just because you're working so hard, but it comes with it. Don't let that be the thing that keeps you from getting to the level and to the expectation of where you're trying to get to as a player. Don't let that hinder you to become the type of player that you're trying to be. That's just a part of the life. And I say this, I remember being younger, when I was in high school, and people making fun of me. You're so skinny. I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about just like other players. I'm talking about family members. I'm Haitian, and I grew up in black culture. Like, they put you down. They gonna put you down. And I'm talking about from when I was a kid to even now as an adult, even when I was doing my proper eating or trying to eat right and being vegan and vegetarian and changing the way, they harass you. You look poor. You need to put some meat on your bones. You just all kinds of, look at you, you look like nothing but this, and that is, it's always going to start off like that. And of course I'm older now, and I'm used to it, and it's just like it's nothing. It's just people projecting what they wish they can do too. But it's really you showing up and being the light that they wish they can do, or they can be. Because when I was younger, man, you're so skinny, you can't jump, you're slow, you can't be no, you ain't gonna make it nowhere. I'm talking about, I distinctively remember my mom's ex-husband, my stepdad at the time, growing up, telling me, you will never be nothing. You will never play pro. You ain't never gonna have nothing. Like just 10 years old, 11-year old. That could make or break a kid. That could make you fit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're so impressionable. And it can happen. Like, people could really, like, the words can really sway and really tear you down, tear you apart, especially at a younger age. So I'm not gonna sit here and say like it's not difficult and it's not gonna be without like real, like, to be good at anything, especially in sports and to stand out, you really gotta put like your heart and your soul and put everything into it and really fight like a dog to just really get to where you want and really get to the next level. You really want to have to always be thinking of the next level. How can I constantly improve and improve and improve? I'm 11 years professional, 11 years pro, and still to this day, I'm still, how can I improve and improve and improve? You never stop trying. You just got to keep going. You can't let these stigmas and these like people and situations and scrutiny and even your own self get in the way of where you want to ultimately get to with this game. You want to, most players, if you tune in, you want to be a better player. You want to be a pro. I speak a lot from the aspects of the professional level, and I'm speaking to a lot of pros, but then, I'm transitioning a lot to speaking to the guys who are one day trying to make it as a pro, because I'm speaking from the pro mindset. But a lot of people, I'm sure, who are watching aren't on that stage yet. They're trying to get there. They want to know what it takes to get there. They want to know, am I on the right track? Am I doing what it takes? And these are just some hard truths that I know that I even had to address myself coming up as a youngin' or as a jit, growing up, trying to become a basketball player and, just better myself and become a different player. These are just some things that I had to deal with myself. And to hear it, if I was speaking to my younger self, I would tell them the same thing. You just got to go through some of these stuff, set realistic goals, make sure your work, thank God, I'm speaking from my own experience because my work matched up to me being here. I'm 11 years in. I've accomplished some things. That is because the goals, it comes to a point that your goals that you would set for yourself, you're going to have to set bigger ones because you're going to start hitting your goals because you're putting in the work to get there. I didn't know. Of course I didn't know. I was just trying to get to school. Just trying to get to school. Man, I was just trying. I just wanted to make it to college. Just trying to make it to college. I was just trying to make it to college. I just wanted to make it to a college. Then I made it to a D1. Yes. Let me go even back. I was just trying to make the team. I was just trying to make the team. Made it to JV. Okay, I want to make it to varsity. I'm watching both of my cousins, freshmen, playing varsity. I'm playing on JV, sophomore year, I'm on J. I'm like, I just want to make it to JV. I'm working. I want to just make it to JV. I want to make it to varsity. Made it to varsity, yes. Now I'm just trying to get into any school I possibly can. I'm just trying to get to college. And you're working. And it's like, man, I'm just trying to just get to college, man. And then one little school pop up, and I'm like, okay, at least one school want me, at least one, just trying to get to college. Anywhere, I'll go anywhere, I'll do anything. Boom, make it to college. Man, I'm just trying to start. I'm just trying to get on the court. I'm just trying to play. I'm just trying to get better. I'm just trying to play. Then it's like, man, now, shoot, I'm playing now. Now I'm starting. Okay, now we in the MEAC. Now I want to win the MEAC. Now in the goals, you start hitting your goals the more because you stick with it. You just got to stick with it. Keep believing in yourself. Keep grinding. Keep going. Overlook all the people that's trying to keep your circle close. Keep the people that are supposed to be around you at all times. Keep those people around you that's pushing you, to get to another level. I always speak about getting to another level because you can never be complacent on the level that you are at in order to get all out of your game. There is no level that you reach to and say, okay, I'm good. The minute you do that, you might as well just start saying, you know what, you giving up on the, not want to say giving up on the game, but to make it to the pro level and continue to, I believe once you get to the pro level and really to get to much success, you have to be in it long enough. So each stage has its requirements. And for you to get to that, you have to constantly, mentally, focusly, emotionally, everything, you have to be constantly be working to get to that next level and grinding and working to a point to where you know that wherever level you're at, it's not enough. It's not going to sustain the next one you're going to. So you have to continuously keep working. I won one championship. That level is no longer able to sustain in order to win another one. And once I win the next one, I have to work even harder to win the next one. It's nowhere like, you know what, I'm good enough to win a championship every year of my life from here on out because I'm just so good and I don't have to work no more. Every year, it's like I got to work even harder. And you got to have people around you that's on the same tip. Like my boy Jerry. When I was over, I took the trip before the season or after the season. I went to his house and went to Cali, and we was hitting the sand dunes, and we went to work individual workouts. I was only there for a week. We went to 3 workouts. We went to play in the Drew League. We went and hit the sand dunes. It's because, and we just came from playing in the finals, and he won. The year before that, we played in the finals. But it's even after all that, and you reach success, we're right back to work. And we're talking about how much better we're going to be for the next season. It's like, after all I did this year, boy, next year I'm finna really go crazy. I'm really finna put the work in to be even better next year. That's the mindset you got to have in everything that you're doing. That's the mindset that you have to accumulate in this game, in your life. It has to be a life thing. You have to transition to it being a life thing and not just something that, to each his own, to whatever it is that you believe the level that you're trying to accomplish in your life. But these are just some truths that I have, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope that you didn't get offended. I hope in a little bit, I hope you do get offended. I hope this does touch your soul. I hope this does stir a little bit of the pot to say that, you know what, I ain't working hard enough. And this makes you tap into that and you say, you know what, I need to work hard enough and I need to get to it, and I'm going to really step my game up and step my focus up and everything to get it to another level, man. That's all I got for this episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. Share this with somebody, who wants to make it to the next level, who wants to play basketball as a pro one day, who wants to just learn something and grow. Hey, man, that's all I got for this episode. Till next time. Hey, guys, thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe on our YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and wherever you listen to your podcast. I greatly appreciate it.